For centuries, knowledge has been hidden in plain sight across the sands of time. Whispers of lost civilizations, cryptic symbols, and forbidden histories have been erased or concealed. What if the truth was never lost, but hidden? Welcome to Eye of Ancient Mysteries, where the past speaks and the future listens. Sit back, open your mind, and prepare to uncover the untold secrets of our world. Let the journey begin now. Saint Arnold, the patron saint of beer, the Catholic Church's unlikely defender of all. He was a soldier, a hermit, and an abbot who advised people to drink beer instead of dangerous water. When you think of beer, religious connections or patron saints likely don't come to mind. But did you know that in the Catholic Church there is an official patron saint of beer? That would be Saint Arnold of Soissons, also known as Arnold of Oudenarde, who is credited with saving countless lives during epidemics with one unusual piece of advice: drink beer instead of water. Saint Arnold was not only a soldier, but also a hermit and abbot who lived during the Middle Ages. His most important message was that beer, thanks to the fermentation process, was safer to drink than water, which was often contaminated and a source of disease. It was during a severe epidemic that Arnold began encouraging people to replace their water with beer, which not only proved to be safer, but also provided much-needed energy for daily life. Some sources also link this brewing blessing to another saint, Saint Arnulf of Metz, another key figure in the history of brewing. So, while the modern world relies on brewers for good beer, it's worth remembering that centuries ago, our ancestors had a holy man with a very different, but no less vital mission to give people a safe and tasty way to survive the plague. For brewers and beer lovers alike, Saint Arnold remains a symbol of beer and its Catholic blessing. T.E.C.O. long life, 105-year. Old woman's advice: drink beer and don't get married. A resident at a care home in the British town of Cheltenham celebrated her 105th birthday with friends, staff, and a cold pint of beer. Reflecting on her long and happy life, Kathleen Hennings shared her secret: drink beer and don't get married. Born in London in 1919, Kathleen grew up in Brixton and went on to have a successful career as an accountant. She fondly remembers dancing the nights away around Covent Garden and attending the Royal Opera to watch operas and ballets. After living through World War II in London, she eventually moved to the Cotswolds with her mother, brother Charlie, and dachshund Rusty to enjoy a quieter life. Kathleen first tried beer at the age of 18 when her parents offered her her first pint. Nearly 9 decades later, she credits beer with helping her reach the incredible age of 105. What all drank Guinness at home. We loved it, and I still do, she told the Daily Mail. To make her birthday extra special, Guinness gifted her a personalized basket containing beer glasses, slippers, a kitchen apron, and chocolate treats. The drink of Pharaohs, one I&E, the nectar of the gods. Louis Pasteur unlocks the secrets of fermentation. Traces of wine, like substances, have been found in 60-million-year-old fossils, suggesting our ancestors may have enjoyed the taste of fermented grapes long before recorded history. Wine remains dating from 5400–5000 BC were discovered in the Zagros Mountains of northern Iran. It is mentioned in the Bible and celebrated by Homer in the Iliad. It's believed that once humans domesticated animals and plants and settled into permanent communities around 6000 BC, they began producing wine. Wine was the favored drink of pharaohs in ancient Egypt, who wished to take it with them into the afterlife. Not only grapes, but also figs, dates, and pomegranates were used in wine-making. The Phoenician traders are believed to have introduced wine to the Greeks, who reverently called it the juice of the gods. Dionysus, the god of wine, was one of the most worshipped deities in ancient Greece. Wine was used at symposia, gatherings where philosophical ideas were exchanged. Interestingly, drunkenness was frowned upon, and wine was often diluted with water and flavored with honey and spices. The Greeks lined their amphorae with tree resin, giving wine a unique taste and leading to the modern De Retsina wine. They spread winemaking across the lands they conquered, which in turn influenced the Romans, who introduced wine to every province of their expanding empire. Wine takes over the Roman world. Initially, the Romans preferred beer and mead over wine. In fact, they used to export their wine to the Gauls, who were huge fans. Everything changed in 146 BC after the sacking of Carthage, when Cato wrote De Agricultura, a book on winemaking that made him a fortune and massively boosted wine's popularity in Rome. Like the Greeks, the Romans enjoyed wine while discussing philosophy or reciting poetry. But unlike them, the Romans were known for overindulgence, wild parties, and dancing girls. Wine also took on a spiritual role, used in various religious rituals. After the fall of the Roman Empire in 476 AD, the Roman Catholic Church preserved the tradition of winemaking. Monks, particularly Benedictines, played a vital role in this. Church-distributed wine was often heavily diluted as drunkenness was discouraged. The explosive history of Champagne. The rise of Champagne was literally explosive. Bottles were under such pressure from the carbon dioxide that they frequently burst, setting off chain reactions in wine cellars. Losses of 20–90% were not unusual. Monks referred to Champagne as the devil's wine and entered cellars wearing iron masks for protection. The problem was solved by thickening the bottles and using wire cages to secure the corks. From amphorae to oak barrels and glass bottles, wine was originally stored and transported in amphorae, but the Gauls introduced oak barrels, which added unique flavors and aromas. In the 17th century, glassmaking improved, and someone finally paired the bottle, cork, and corkscrew, discovering that tightly sealed wine lasted longer than barrel-stored wine. The threat of phylloxera, one of the worst plagues in viticulture, was the phylloxera pest, which devastated vineyards between 1870 and 1900. It hit Europe, Australia, and California hard. The solution came by grafting European vines onto American rootstocks, which were resistant to the pest. Pasteur saves the wine industry. In the mid-19th century, Louis Pasteur and other scientists uncovered the science of fermentation and identified the yeasts responsible. Pasteur also discovered bacteria that spoiled wine and invented pasteurization, a heating method that killed the harmful microbes. Wine scandals and record sales not without scandal. On December 5, 1985, Christie's auctioned a mysterious bottle etched with 1787, the word Lafite, and the initials THJ. It was claimed to belong to Thomas Jefferson and fetched an enormous price. Later, isotope analysis showed the wine was actually from after 1952. To prevent such frauds, the EU created a wine isotope database, EU Wine, in 1990. Every wine-producing country must now collect grape samples annually to establish a unique isotopic fingerprint for authenticity. Modern wine world as of 2022. The world produced around 258 million hectoliters of wine. The top 10 wine-producing countries in 2023 were France, Italy, Spain, USA, Chile, Australia, South Africa, Germany, Argentina, and Portugal. Regular, but moderate. Wine consumption has been linked to health benefits, commonly referred to as the French paradox. One key compound in red wine is resveratrol, a natural polyphenol found in grape skins and seeds. Known for its antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, cardioprotective, and neuroprotective properties, it also shows promise in cancer prevention and treatment. However, its low solubility and absorption remain challenges for the pharmaceutical industry.